So today I just wanted to take a look at the film Frankenweenie, first starting with the 1984 short, which was obviously released by Disney and was one of the early films directed or produced by Tim Burton. So my first question here is, if the dog in the film is actually a bull terrier, why on earth is he described as a Frankenweenie? That is never explained. It's just, it is what it is, but what constitutes a dog, being a weenie or, a weenie dog, because he looks nothing like either. But this film itself is somewhat of an homage or a parody to Frankenstein, obviously. And there are a great many references, but the film does open with a, I guess you could say, a little 8mm home movie sequence where the young boy is showing a film that he had made to his parents. At the beginning, we do hear the mom commenting that, oh, that's where her pot holders went. She had been looking for them. There was one with like a dinosaur face that had been used in the monster movie. The dog himself, Sparky, is dressed as somewhat of a stegosaurus-like creature. The short film that the young boy presents is called Monster from Beyond. He presents his film, obviously his parents are proud of him. He packs everything up and goes upstairs. Then Mom expresses the fact that he really doesn't have many friends. But, that's his thing. He wants to make movies and his best friend is his dog. So, that should be good enough, right? So they pretty much get into the meat of the story early on as the family's out sitting outside. The gate to the front yard is open, so the boy's actually bouncing or rolling a baseball along the sidewalk. The dog's running along and just fetching and bringing it back to the boy. I believe it's by the second roll, the ball just goes a little bit too far. It makes its way out of the yard, and of course the poor pooch is smushed by a car. So it's later that day during science class that he gets the idea from his science teacher when the science teacher is presenting the theory that electric currents can still travel through a corpse. So the young boy wastes no time in, unburying his dead dog, sneaking it back into the house, and setting up what I would assume is in the attic. They do have somewhat of a trap door, and they do have like some sort of rails or banisters which resemble a swing set, which are up there, I guess, for support or balance. But luckily, very early in the movie, there was a convenient thunderstorm. He does set the dog up to receive an electrical charge, and we get the Lazarus pooch. Essentially, the young boy does keep him upstairs, just kind of hidden out of the way. Unfortunately, eventually the dog does make his way outside and accidentally somewhat runs amok and just terrifies the neighborhood. The neighbors are coming back at the parents like, hey, you need to get your dog under control. And they're like, our dog's dead, duh, hello. So eventually the parents do realize that, yes, there is a dog that is still very much alive. And I guess they do try to throw somewhat of a debutante or reintroduction party for the dog, just to let everybody know, hey, this dog's not all bad. He's still the same pooch he was before. Everyone sees him, they freak. The dog runs out of the house and I guess wanders into a miniature golf park because he does wind up in somewhat of a windmill type device. One of the neighbors does pull out a lighter to get a better look, and the moron sets the thing on fire, essentially causing the second death of the dog. So I guess everybody just feeling like the jerks that they are, just trying to set things right. They want to try and bring the dog back another time because they want to feel Christ-like. So they set their vehicles in a circle, and they're essentially just giving the dog a mass jump start. It was this story itself, or this film itself, which had pretty much prompted Tim Burton being fired from Disney. He, to my knowledge, originally started off as an animator for The Fox and the Hound, and he just could not get the style down. He himself is quoted as saying that his foxes looked more like roadkill than what they were supposed to be looking like. Obviously, just due to the grim nature of this film and Disney just feeling that this movie was not presentable, it was a waste of resources, they fired Burton. So if I'm remembering correctly, a censored version of the film had been released to VHS in 1992. They had also done a test screening, I believe alongside the Pinocchio film, and it was just deemed too scary. That obviously upset the kids. They just couldn't deal with the subject matter. Eventually, the short itself did find its way onto a DVD release. So this would have been the first uncensored appearance on home video, which was released alongside, I believe, as a special feature with The Nightmare Before Christmas. So even though the short had been on the shelf for quite some years, Disney did eventually release this in the UK in 1985. I believe it was a short that was played before Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend. So it did get some, I guess you could say, airtime or play there. But, you know, definitely Disney did keep the leash on this poor film. So it was in 2012 that we got the full-length feature release of Frankenweenie. Once again, Tim Burton working with Disney to release this film. And obviously this film did a lot better. In my opinion, it was very successful. And in the back of my mind, I can't help but think to myself that it was just kind of like Tim Burton just giving Disney an FU for giving him trouble all those years about the same Frankenweenie film. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I like to think about it that way. So there are quite a few similar scenes that are recreated within the feature. We have the same opening scene with the young boy presenting his film. Obviously the film looks a little bit different. It's a little bit more detailed now because it's animated and you can definitely play with things a bit more. So the movie is still titled the same, Monsters from Beyond, and the dog's costume is still the same. The resurrection scene with the dog being lifted up through the roof of the house is pretty much still the same as well. I really do like how they fleshed out and gave the film a lot more detail. Obviously you have like this goony Igor type kid which is out to cause trouble. He discovers that the young boy resurrected his dog and he wants to learn how to do this because apparently he wants to use this as his science fair project. It isn't long before the secret gets out and you've pretty much just got kids raiding the pet cemetery or just finding other dead animals to resurrect. So the ending sequence is actually what I thought very interesting. Is you have something very similar to, I guess you could say like a King Kong type thing. You've got this giant turtle, basically Gamera type, who is just running amok and just destroying everything. So eventually they do discover that the way to pretty much re-kill these characters is just to, I guess you could say, shock them back into death. And then of course Sparky does meet his untimely end again. We do have a burning windmill scene as well. And then we have the circle of vehicles just giving him a jump start. But there's tons of cute things just throughout the film, as well as just, you know, those odd trademark Tim Burton touches. There's a girl whose cat takes prophetic turds. The poop is in the shape of the letter of the first person's name, so essentially their fortune or something is being foretold for them for that day. Where on earth that came from, I don't know, but it's funny. You know, it's definitely got its quirks and usual things to look for in there, but you know, definitely a very cute, very enjoyable film. But that's all I've got for you guys today, and I will talk to you later.